Well, that was interesting. Audio check, audio check. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. We will be with you shortly. Good morning, everyone. I'll be with you shortly. Gonna get our pricing fixed up here. Pedro's doing more of that insurance stuff again. Good morning, Fire Chicken. What is up at the DYOR Media Network? Getting a little late start today. We're supposed to start at 12 p.m. today, but my building had a fire alarm, and not a false one. A little running behind, and I think Pedro's doing that talking to the insurance companies again thing, so he's running late. Crypto Mike in the house. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's see what's going on here. Let's get ready for Pedro to join the show. You can jump right in when he gets here. All right, all is set for his return. All right, everybody, welcome to the show here. Once again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is in the world you're coming to us from, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking, here in the digital media universe. So glad to be hosting another episode of this great award-winning show called DYOR Live here on the DYOR Media Network. As I always say, I got that echo again. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking. I think I already said that. Anyway, it's May 23rd, 2025. It's Friday. We usually don't do a Friday show. We do full rant Fridays on X. Those haven't been going that well, and we needed to get more time streaming after my two-month-long sojourn across all over the United States and back. And so here we are on Friday doing our show. As always, I would like to say we have a good show for you. We keep you entertained, teach you a little bit about stuff. Some interesting headlines today. Bitcoin is consolidating a little bit. Let's see if we get the pricing up there. Wow, that's not right. There we go. That's right. We get that auto push on. Bitcoin's down at about $109,000. Got all the way up to $112,000 recently on the spot market. All is going well. With it, a little consolidation was needed. If you heard me talk about the daily charts the past couple of days, we said that it was getting too far away from the 21-day moving average for the daily chart, and it needed to flag out a little bit and do a little consolidation. It's doing that right now, and we will talk more about that when we get into the top-down discussion of Bitcoin. A couple other things. The Trump meeting happened last night with all the people that were the top holders of the Trump coin. I don't know how many people fully doxed themselves and showed up for it. But all I know is that Elizabeth Warren had a total hissy fit thinking that they were all getting presidential pardons and fat stacks of cash from Trump just by showing up there, which of course was not true, but it was entirely a buy the rumor, sell the news event prior to the dinner of Mr. Trump and all of his holders. The price went up by a lot, and people, when it was announced, people bought a lot more too. Then they announced that there was a weighted average to keep out last-minute buyers from buying away into having dinner with Mr. Trump. And then, of course, as soon as the dinner ended, that was that. 50% drop. Boop! Just like that. Sell the news. Remember, if you're buying something based on what you read in the news, make sure you sell it before the event actually happens. If you recall way back when Doge was climbing all the way up to 70 cents, Doge was at like 40 some cents, and they announced that Elon was going to be on Saturday Night Live, and Doge just started going crazy, and everyone's like, oh, he's going to talk about Doge on it, it's going to boom, it's going to boom, it's going to boom. And I remember being in that trade exactly, and I said, this is a sell the news thing, and I sold it before he went on, and sure enough, during the show itself, it was a flop, and right after it tanked like crazy, and has never recovered since. Has never recovered to that 70 cents level since then. But anyway, who's with us here today? Chuck Jansen's in the house. Crypto Mike's in the house. Thank you to everyone that's watching us. Really appreciate it. Got a couple of people watching on X. Thank you very much. Everyone watching on X. Pedro's going to be with us shortly. You're watching DYOR Live here on the DYOR Media Network. I am your host, Tom, as I say, otherwise known as Striking. Welcome, everyone. Do a little social media now. Please like, share, follow, comment, subscribe. You think I'd have these pre-populated and filled out, and I could just click a button and that would do it. Actually, there is a mechanism. I just realized there is a bot mechanism to do that. Just do it. For those of you that are here, share it in your rooms, share it in your TG rooms, share it with your cousins, with your uncles, share it with anyone who won't get us arrested if we talk nasty to them. I didn't just say that out loud, did I? No, I didn't. All right, what is going on with Bitcoin? Nothing good. Nothing good is going on with Bitcoin right now. It's supposed to be doing a little bit more consolidating, and instead it's not bouncing off its Fibonacci retracement like I planned for it to do. Went down all the way to another level. I can't afford to put more money into, getting too close to my stop. Anyway, let's get to the Bitcoin top-down look at this. No, I don't want notifications. All right, let me get Tom's screen up here. Pedro, Tom's screen. Ah, that's the wrong one. Look at it, infinity. Browser. Give me a second while I fix this, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I wanted. All right, what do we got here? This is the Bitcoin top-down, which I've been practicing. So far, been practicing fairly accurately, I might add. This is the daily chart, Bitcoin daily chart here. And if you recall me talking to you about the last couple of days, the weekly chart isn't much different than this. I'm not going to get into that because the weekly time frames are a little bit more complicated because they require you to know more about divergences and this type of stuff, and I am not schooled on that yet. Fire Chicken says, yeah, I need a couple of cool-off days. That's correct. If you notice all the green days the past 2-3 weeks, it's been a lot more than red days, and that doesn't work in the long run. And you can see here, right above me here, let's make me bigger here. You can see right here that this is the 21 period moving average. And for a while it was starting to get far away from it. I have my chart. Not so good, but the 21-day moving average needs to catch up to the price action. Either the price action consolidates and goes sideways and the 21-day moving average comes up to meet it. I'd draw it, but that takes too long. Or the price action comes down. And as we can see, kind of both are happening right now. And today we're down 2% right now in Bitcoin. People taking some profits, which is giving altcoins a chance. Once Bitcoin's, after reaching new highs and then starts consolidating or retraces a little bit, people are taking their money and where are they putting it? Altcoins, that's right. So anyway, in the daily chart, it's doing what we said. Still, if you look down here at the relative strength, still good. Stochastics still on their way up, believe it or not. Today will be a little retracement, but neither overbought nor oversold. And so everything still with the daily chart, regardless of what's going on, is bullish to me. Let's head down to the 12-hour chart, which will undoubtedly look exactly the same. Also, let me know if the music's too loud, everyone. I don't have Pedro telling me in my ear that it is too loud. 12-hour chart looking almost exactly the same as the daily chart. Same thing going on here. We consolidated, or we got a little too far away from the 21. Some periods of, if Crypto Lifer were doing this right now, he would say, what would he say? He'd say, looking for the flag here. Something like that. And for, he's so much faster at this than me. Can't even remember where things are on the chart. And he'd say, do up and down, get to here and go boop, like that. And then he'd put in an alternative going, following the down pattern. Like this too, a down channel. Which can do a number of things. Can keep going down, or it could do a falling wedge and then go boop, like that. In each case, as they like to say, I am only practicing at this. I've been under the tutelage of Pedro. Ariel, welcome to the show. I haven't seen you in a while. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. Pedro is running late today. I'm handling the opening technical analysis here on the 12-hour chart of Bitcoin. We're going to head down to the 4-hour chart now. And as you can see, the 4-hour chart, the past couple days, the 4-hour chart has been looking nothing but awesomeness. And today, it's not looking awesomeness. Today, the 4-hour chart, let's try and blow this up a little bit. I've been using BidFi's demo account and Mexi's demo account to practice different things. I've been working on some high leverage trades in the Mexi account, so you can see my buys and sells here. But anyway, the 4-hour chart. Ooh, what did I just hear there? No Pedro. Anyway, the 4-hour chart not looking as good, rolling over a little bit on us here. Came down, if it had stayed above the 21 period moving average right here, would have kept my confidence level about that, but now it's popping down below the 21 period moving average. And so for me, that's saying that there's little downside. RSI is coming down. Stochastics are at the bottom, still looking like they're going down a little bit. I don't have the MACD up because my charts just, I don't have any room on them yet, and I'm not good at the layouts on them. But anyway, 4-hour is starting to show some weakness. That tells me that the 1-hour, 4 1-hour charts are not going to look pretty, and neither will 8 1-hour charts. And sure enough, kind of correct here. We had a little surprise this morning. Everyone was watching this This flag here that formed over the past couple of days, and a little bit of an idiot box opened up there, and everyone was thinking that we would have a nice measured move out of this, out to 13, 14, 15,000, somewhere in there. But today the market makers had a trick for us. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, they had a trick. Sorry, this is making a little noise. And their trick was, not so much, we're going to dump the market. And they did. And then, frankly, I don't know if it was just a market maker move or if there was some news action that I missed. Let me make sure we got some thumbs ups going here in the old Rumble stream. Thanks for joining us, everyone, on Rumble. Really appreciate it. It says that there are 10 of you watching right now. Drop us a like. Drop us a comment. I will read your comments. And Pedro and I will chat about them when he gets in here. I started late today. Sorry about that. But we had a fire in our building. Usually there are false alarms when your fire alarm goes off, right? I went down the stairs. Mrs. Striking's out. Just me and the dog right before the show's about ready to start. And I smell stuff in the stairway. I'm like, that's not good. Anyway, this building has many residential floors, and on the bottom, of course, there's commercial. Someone's moving in, created a giant dust storm, set the fire alarm off. You should see how happy the firemen were to show up here. Happy that there's no fire. Unhappy that it was like the 9,000th time showing it up at our building. Anyway, so Bitcoin took a dump on us. These flags usually play out fairly well. Very rarely do they just dump on us. This was well before the open in Chicago, so there wasn't any pressure from that. It was just a wah, wah, wah. Market makers say time to go. Volume was a little thin. And so my guess is, and this is just an honest guess, is that a couple of market makers just said, it's time to dump the market and clean out some longs and prepare the market to go up again. My earphone, it's not working right today. Don't know why. Put this there. Anyway, and so the 4-hour chart not looking so great right now. In fact, what surprised us is that, if you're into patterns and stuff, a head and shoulders is a telltale of it going down. But this was an opposite. This was an inverse head and shoulders, and usually those things boom. So we had two. We had the bull flag, and we had inverse head and shoulders telling us it was going up, and it wrecked us. I got stopped out of a trade on both BTC and ETH. We'll look at ETH in a minute too. Oh, but I can, sir. Hold on there, Pedro. Hold on there, Pedro. Ladies and gentlemen, we got Pedro Garcia coming on here. We'll give him a second to get his cameras up and running and everything straight, and then we'll bring him on and he continue the education that we do here every day for you guys. But I'm going to jump down to the 15-minute chart here, and also not looking good. The 15-minute chart, everything is below the trend. The moving averages are all above price action here now. So not a pretty sight here. In fact, in the past 15 minutes, we have come back up a lot. Unfortunately, it stopped me out before it came back up, but that's how it goes. Put in your trade. And I'm willing to bet here that the 5-minute chart is also going to be unhappy too. And sure enough, the 5-minute chart, all the moving averages are above the price action. And if we were to look at the 1-minute chart, I bet you it would be the same. So in the short term, the trending is down. Well, I take that back. Look, the past 8 minutes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, past 10 minutes, we've been up. So maybe we'll start feeding the 15-minute candles something else. Heard Pedro. Make sure I got his Let's see, Pedro, the screen feed. Let's see. No Pedro. Where is Pedro? Where can? I got his stuff jacked up here. Pedro Cam. Pedro feed. There he is. There's that good-looking man. All right, now we're up and running here, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the entire show. Pedro, I have to assume you're still dealing with your crumpled wheels and iron set.
Because it is with state police and not with the local police. And there is nothing I can do. And so I have to wait for them because they work on a completely different schedule. And it's a lot easier to go and hit somebody up who's a city police person versus a state police person who's completely volunteer. And to reach somebody at the state is like trying to call the U.S. government.
Or Amazon customer service? Not going to happen.
It's just so, I'm just at that point. It's just like, really? Like, and the only recourse is I have to pay some exorbitant amount of money to get some stuff that's supposed to be free, but not, because it's handled by an NGO that handles all of this. And so they charge a fee, but not the state.
I think that's called getting shafted.
I'm like, how?
Let me guess, those fees, though, you can claim on the insurance. So somebody in the lobbying business set up this rule to feed money to an outside organization that they likely own. But ultimately, it doesn't cost the consumer anything because they can just add it to their insurance bill.
Welcome. Well, I don't want to do that because in that is a claim that then gets put onto my insurance company. Hence, then they raise my rates. So it's
like leaving the drive-thru and opening your bag and you got someone else's order. You're getting effed at the drive-thru. You're just like, nothing good comes of it.
Welcome to a democratic state, or a liberal state.
Liberal progressive state of Connecticut.
Liberal progressive state.
Their problem, they just haven't had any good Republicans to come out of that state in a while. And they need someone like that to charge all those people in Stamford and New Canaan and Greenwich and Old Saybrook and Essex and all those places to change teams. Anyway, other than that, how you doing today, Pedro?
I'm having fun.
Good. We got a good crowd with us today. At one point, we had 12 people watching us on Rumble at once. I've got 9 right now, a couple on YouTube, even one person watching on Twitch. Thank you very much. And of course, I never can tell how many people are watching on X, but thank you to everyone that's watching on X.
You want to know something interesting? I'm thinking of actually moving to Texas in all reality, bro. I'm seriously, I've got a few friends of mine out there. I love between Houston and Dallas, or is it Houston and Austin? The Houston and Austin, I'm forgetting it. There's a small little town called Wimberley, Texas. I remember when I was...
Pedro, you do not need to move to a small town. You need to move to a large town with lots of single ladies about 5 years younger than you. Probably, maybe some of them are even traders. They might be trading sex and not financial futures. But
I don't need a woman. Who needs a woman? You know what I'm saying?
We last thing we need is Pedro's emotions to get to confuse his financial trading stuff and teach us all crazy stuff.
It's good to see everybody. What's up, Fire Chicken? Good to see you over on Rumble. And thank you guys to the 7 that are watching us over there. Thank you. Many blessings to you guys on this beautiful Friday afternoon. I'm looking forward to some dope stuff happening over the weekend with Bitcoin. It's great. I love this sell-off because that actually means that the institutions are taking profit on their Friday because they're taking profit from the CME. We had a great week, shot up literally from 103, 102 at the beginning of the week to all the way to 110, 111. Yep. So this is, I mean, think about it. That's a 10% increase. And when you consider how leveraged Bitcoin futures on the CME is, you're talking that is a month, if not maybe even a 3-month trade in traditional finance. So really nice little 10-15% for them, right? This month has been kind of absolutely crazy from last month to this month, with the S&P 500 dropping off 20%, and then in 1 week you see a 10% increase that we saw in the with Bitcoin. So it's just been absolutely insanity looking at this market. I'm still waiting for my thing here to populate a nice little trade.
On the screen here, I had a trade here going on, and this was a practice trade in which I took a trade in Bitcoin, and it soon went against me, and so I pulled my fibs and I said, where is this going to turn around to go back? And obviously the fibs don't tell you where it's going to turn around. They are one tool to help you determine where it turned around. And I looked at it, and it came and bounced right off the one of them. And I said, oh, it's going to turn around here. So I mitigated my trade a little bit by adding a little bit to it. And then it said, okay, we're going all the way back down, past the famous 786, went all the way down to the 1. And now it's doing a little return. And as it got to the 1, I added a little bit more to it. And now I'm in the positive. I'm in the positive on the trade. And because this trade initially went against me, I'm not going to count on the market. And after just looking at the market, I am going to close this out here above break even. I think I'm right now, I'm 7 cents above break even. How about that?
And you're going, I'm sorry. So I just literally caught nothing until you said break even. So can you tell me that trade again?
Yeah, I got into test, just making sure you can hear me.
Yep.
All right, so as Bitcoin was rebounding after its big dump here this morning, I took out a small trade. Used all of $25 a margin here. And then it recovered a little bit, but then it started going down. And I said, all right, so if it's going to go down, instead of just closing it out when it was time to close it out, I said, all right, I'm going to practice mitigating my trade here. And it went down, and I said, all right, I drew my fibs to the area which I thought would probably work to it. And it came down and bounced right off the 618, which is a good spot, which it does do that. Said, all right, so I added a little bit to the trade there to take advantage of that. And then it immediately turned around and went, nope, not good. Market's still going down. And I'm sure I missed 10 indicators telling me that. But then it came all the way back down to the 1. Not the 786, but just came right down to the 1. And so I added a little bit more then to it. And the Bitcoin recovered a little bit, and I'm actually break even right now. And I'm going to do, as what they say, capital preservation, and not count on it keep going up. I'm just going to get out of the trade and keep my money. This is a Friday after all, and what you've taught me on Friday, Pedro, is that crazy stuff happens on Friday.
Well, it's not that it's crazy. It's just they take profit. Institutions take profit, and plus, if we're coming up to the end of the month here. And so their positions that they put in at the first week, they're starting to take profit of that first week, or just taking money off the table so they can add to their bank account for the next week. So that's what institutional traders are doing, right? So they have their longs their long-term trades, their mid-term trades, and their short-term trades. Short-term trades are going to be your daily trades. You're making it just to fill up your coffer dam. As a institutional trader, you would sit there and you would mitigate any type of loss that you would have coming against you. One of the things that they always talk about, right, or at least like institutional trading, is that they're going to say, look, they're given more money based off how much money they make.
Yeah.
And their bonus is based off of how much money they make. So they're not going to necessarily let it come all the way back down, especially if they've got a huge portion in their already unrealized gains. So they're going to realize those gains so that they can pull that profit off and hit that. Now, again, you got to look at what the beginning of the month and the end of the month, right? So when we look at that, you've had a really big push here with Bitcoin. Right, and you can see here that it jumped. You know, we were literally at 93, and now we've jumped all the way up to 110. And so that monthly, you're almost 25% increase on that one trade.
Good time for profit.
And if you're trading a futures, exactly, boom. And so it could rally, and it most likely will. But they're going to first take that money, take some profit, and then allocate to another asset in which they can potentially make more money on, whether that's ETH, whether that's another product that they can put in, whether it's gold, silver, the crude oil, or they can short. And here's the thing: you want to short that money, so they're most likely going to take that money and short, knowing that people are going to take profit on big institutions. And so this was a beautiful play for them, because they're looking at it going like, yeah, this is dope. So yeah, and it's not that it's bad things happen, it's just that they're taking profit. And so typically you can have a big rally up for the week, right? Like if we look at, what's the first thing I always say, if it goes down on Sunday, right, boom, then we'll most likely see it be up on Friday, right? Or if it goes down Saturday or Sunday, Monday, you know, and then we start to see Tuesday put in a doji, then we start to see it go up. So it's typically this. But this week has been a really interesting week, because you can see, at least on Bitcoin here, we had this day here. This was Sunday. So we saw it go up. Then we came down on Monday, put the wick in for the week, and then rallied up. And so you've had a pretty good amount of pressure that's been pushing this market up, whether that is fears or whether that is we are now starting that true cycle, the bull cycle, as it's moving up and consolidating, doing this type of thing, higher highs and higher lows, or whether this is really kind of like institutionals buying because they know that the strategic reserve is gaining more and more popularity in the industry. We're seeing major institutions, states, governmental state institutions that are literally starting to adopt crypto and saying, yeah, we want this in our system. So that's whatever that is, institutions, banking institutions are going to use that as ability to offload drop market, buy in at lower rates. So some just to be paying attention to. But yeah, I was expecting, and we are coming down to the period moving average. You can see right here on the daily. Always be looking at your daily chart. Your daily chart is going to tell you what's going to happen throughout the day. Okay, that's one of the most important things to be paying attention to. It's not going to be a perfect indicator, but it's going to be a pretty darn good indicator to kind of give you heads up so you know what's going on. That's something that I look at.
Sorry, Pedro, I've been fighting a small cold all week, and it's just getting the better of me. I was actually fine all day until the fire alarm before
the fire.
And I went outside, and it wasn't like smoke from it, but the pollen or something outside from the spring just got me. And ever since I came back inside, I've been a mess. And I'm gonna sneeze.
Oh shoot. Dude, I created this new, this thing is amazing. It's right here. This is a mixture of
I can't wait to hear.
beeswax. Oh no, so this is a mixture of beeswax. Okay. Beeswax, castor oil, olive oil, and avocado oil, with also raspberry, red raspberry oil as well. And in addition to that, it has sage oil. It has cedar wood. It also has what's the other ones? The really sweet smells. I mean, sweet smells. I have mango oil with that. These are things that basically just actually help.
Is this something you ingest or rub all over your face so you look beautiful? Could be both.
Well, you can do that. No, it's both. It's specifically made to actually help balance men's testosterone.
Oh.
Yeah. And so one of the biggest things is it helps bind. So it absorbs into your body, and it actually helps bind to estrogen receptors or things like that in your system. And it makes you, this is why, like, and I think honestly, in all reality, when women have, whether it's intentional or unintentionally, but these smells like sandalwood, cedarwood, vanilla, what are also main things that are in women's
underpants?
In their products, they love these smells. They absolutely love them, right? And the reason why is because men should be using them, because it actually helps balance and increases our testosterone. No, I'm not joking. And so,
what about those of us that need to decrease their testosterone? It's a little too overactive. Come on, it's Friday. I'm in a joking mode. Come on, man.
Yeah. Hey. Hey.
Where are you, Mr. Striking? I'm back.
Hey, how you doing? Hey. But what this does is it literally helps balance that. So I put it together. I've been using that for a minute. But what's so interesting behind it is that as I'm using it, I get up in the morning and the vitality that I have, I get up, I'm like, let's go. It cleans out a lot of my internal body's systems, and also makes me feel just kind of light on my feet. And what I love about it is that it's designed specifically for men, so that when you put it on, like you're gonna smell really, really good. And additionally to that, you're also going to have the vitality. And so this is something I'm messing with and whatever. And I love it, man. I absolutely love it.
What we need to do is we need to do a test, Pedro. We need to do a test. And that is, we'll do a hidden camera of you walking down the streets of Connecticut, and walk by a group of ladies and see their reaction. Like, if they're just like naturally like, whoa, what's going on here? Better go there. Then we'll know that potion, it can be bottled and you can become a billionaire.
No, I don't want, but it's not used to attract women. It's used for men's. Now that's funny. I gotta admit, that's funny, but it's not. It kind of could potentially, because it smells really good. When you put it on, it's going to smell really, really good. I mean, because of the vanilla, the sage, the mango, the sandalwood smell. Yeah, that would definitely make it smell really good. I didn't even realize that. But I specifically found these specifically because I wanted them to be good. I put the raspberry seed oil in it because it acts as kind of a good type of sunblock for men, right? But it still allows in the vitamin D rate. There's a lot of the rays within the sun, but pretty much protects from the UVs that kind of hurt you. Right? But it doesn't eliminate it. You still need UVs to hit your skin, but just an excessive amount. So it's specifically for men, not to pull ladies, but specifically that hope our bodies. And
Sorry, that wasn't the right one. I was looking for one that would have worked perfectly with this, but oh, here it is.
Your mother was a hamster, and your father. Smelt of elderberries.
Elderberries. That's fine. To trade this strategy. I'm just saying, see what it does. Look at it on Saturday, right? And then see what it's going to do on Sunday and see if you can kind of see or predict and put some rules behind it. And then love to see your guys' thoughts on it. Yeah. A quick question for you when it comes to this market. What are some of the news that you think is really going to be prevalent that we probably should be paying attention to?
Well, one of the I was talking before you came on. I was talking about the interesting things, and I was trying to keep it a little lighter for Friday. We had the Trump dinner last night, Pedro, and the Trump dinner, of which part of the U.S. government completely freaked out. Oh. No, I can't talk to him now. When it rings,
no, go ahead. Is that your kids? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll let him text me. He can text me.
Yeah, well, go listen. I can always handle it, and then you come on. That's your baby, man.
All right, so cool. Give me a minute here.
That's all good. Here's the thing. I know when Tom's kids calls, he could try to be present, but he really can't be. I've seen it. We've tried. I've seen him try, and his brain just, you ask any parent when your kid calls you and you know they're going through a hard time. It's harder just to let them, struggle, and that's anybody who cares about their kid. So it's kind of cool that let the man do what he needs to do. He'll come back on, and he'll go over some of the new stuff that we were looking at. So while he's doing what he needs to do, let's check out some dope stuff that we've been looking at this week. Where was it? We talked about Crow here, and Crow sold off down here. I was hoping we were going to see a bit of a rally to come up to that 200 period, that 200 400 period, which is sitting at that 10 cents. But I'm like, just the way it's being played here, I'm actually kind of getting excited, seeing how they're actually getting ready to push us up. So what I'm looking at it, if we're going to come back down, remember we talked about that wick against a wall. So here's a wall, and you can see here that we have a wick area right here. And so I could expect to see us come down, hit that, and then hit that 50 period moving average, stop everybody out that's low here, pick up orders, and then push it back up. So this is one of the things I'm looking for potentially over the weekend. Maybe Saturday you go down, Sunday we go up. So let's see here. We're going to mark this. Boom. And by the way, guys, if you guys could do us a quick favor, please, if you have any questions over at Rumble, over on YouTube, please log in, ask me questions. I love asking your questions when it comes to the market and what potentially we could look at. Now, I'm not going to always be perfect, and I'm not going to, like I said, I'm a percentage guy. I look at the percentages and I go, okay, what is some of the things that the market is most likely going to do? And that's how I look at it, right? It's more of a percentage, and that's how I play it. But on the back end, though, what I'm always looking to see is how do we capitalize on those percentages? So that's always what's up. Ariel, by the way, what's up, man? It's good to see you over there on YouTube. Always a pleasure, man. Hey, It's been a while since we've seen you, so I'm glad that you are here. Let's check this out here real quick. Boom. We'll do this, make it like this. And then we're going to change the, as I said, I want to do it right there. Make it purple. Boom. We'll change that up to right there. Make that a 2. So I'm looking at this right here. Like I'm definitely seeing if we can capture this and then see it. So again, you could pick up some crow at that low level there at that 0.0928. Again, this is not financial advice. This is all for educational and social purposes only. But it's just one of those things that I say, hey, it potentially might go down there, and so we can capitalize on that move. Also, when it comes down to, we have 2 consolidation periods, which is actually really good right here. So you see this, them building a position right here. They're also building a position right here, and they're building a position right here. So this area here between that 7 to 10 cent area is definitely an area you can definitely see they built positions, right? These are areas that, like, I'm gonna point this out here, kind of like this. These are position buildings here. So you can see here, kind of like right here. Actually, not even all right there. It's pretty much just this area right here. Like, come on. This is an algorithm basically setting up a position all in this in between July and November. Okay. And so because of that, we were able then to sit there and say, all right, this is a position played right here. Boom. Where else do we see something kind of similar to that? You can see right here, right? Instead of this being an inverse, or this is kind of going down, this is kind of going up here. And so I would expect it to maybe come back down again before it tests low. But this whole entire area between 7 and 10 cent area, I think is going to be a major area that I'll never see again, because we keep just seeing positions just being established there. So I look forward to see if it does get going. We've checked out H&T. H&T is looking very similar in the same sense, right? Like I just feel like they're building a position here. It's pretty clear. Again, it's just the sideways action that they keep price in between, that they can buy in, right, and try to push it higher. So this area right here for H&T, I like a lot. ICP. Let's check out our friend ICP. ICP, like exactly the same thing, building a position, getting ready for it to explode out of there. Now, once it really gets past to this point here between $7 and $8, then you're going to see a pretty, like, it's going to do this type of thing, but it's going to be playing in between that area. It'll be looking like this. You know, come up, boom, 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 and we see that moon. How much just happened? Oh, that's why I was off the grid there. Moon. There you go. That's the moon right there, in case you needed to know. Boom. Okay. One of the things I'm also looking at, and this is kind of a tiny play here, is the Melania Trump ticker here. Like if Trump is going to use these type of things, I think you need to be smart and see if you can capitalize on these movements. So let's go ahead and pull this up here real quick. Boom. Give me a second. Where's it at? All right, oh, there it is. Boom. I can see if that populates there. Yeah, so we can we're still having finding resistance here at this level here of that that 3 billion, 4 billion area here. And so it's going to take a minute for it to get through that. But once we kind of get through it, the next level here is up at this level here. Actually, let's do that again. And that's going to be that 6 to 7 billion area. And then after that, it's honestly the peak. It goes from there. So you can see people are definitely trading this coin. There's a pretty decent amount of volume here, 10K, 12K at these levels. So real interesting to see what's happening. And the fact that you can short this coin just kind of explains a lot potentially where we could really see a big move. So kind of excited about it. Hopefully it gets going here and we can see a big move. Come on. This thing is not wanting to work. Why is it not working? All right, there we are. And then we can check out Neuro. I've been kind of waiting to see if it's going to break out of this kind of sideways pattern here, but we've been watching, or at least I bought some Neuro down at these lower levels here. I think we very much could get back up to that 1.3 billion, if not further. So at these lower levels, I was definitely looking to get some. What was interesting is around that 79 million market area here. This area here, once we had that crossover, you can see the increase in volume that really kind of came in. And even when it came back down into this level, I mean, just look at the volume stepping back into Neuro. So that community that is excited. I saw them posting the other day and they're just like, look at it, let's go. So it's something I've been paying attention to. Neuro showing some strength, again. The biggest issue that they're going to have, it's going to be the monthly 8 period coming right here. They're going to have to fight through that. It's not going to be easy for them, but we should see Neuro kind of come in and kind of find some footing above that. If it can find some footing above that, and then it's go time. It will be go time for them. So yeah, boom. This area here is kind of riddled with resistance. Right here.
Hey, Pedro,
20.
sorry about that. I will be just helping out Striking Jr. with a little tech support that unfortunately can't wait till the end of the show. I'll be about another 5 minutes probably.
Okay, no worries. So, do you guys have any questions for me? Like, I would love to answer anything that you guys have. That would be dope. But ultimately, I do look at these markets and I do see kind of what's happening here. And it's just like, again, this is another setup. Like you can see we pushed above the moving averages, showing strength here with good volume at this level. You can see here that you are seeing a lower amount of sell volume versus buy volume, which is sitting right here. So typically that means that the market wants to go up. So I like it. I've been looking at that, waiting, seeing if this thing kind of explodes. I'm hoping I can get a 20x on it, right? If we could see this thing literally get to $2 billion, $3 billion, be a nice little play there. Nice little play. One of the things I'm also looking for is it Turbo or no? Oh yeah, Nova is what's his name's project here. This is Zach from Subway project, and it was kind of a takeover, I believe. But I've been kind of looking at this and I'm saying, you know what? It looks like it's starting to bring in some buyers here. They just gotta get through, and it's such a low market cap at that 27,000 area. And it's potentially, you could see it like get up to back to the all-time highs here. or is it Nova? I think, yeah, Nova. I think Nova was here. Yeah. So from that 27,000, you could have a potentially 20x as well if it gets to the highs again. So something that I've been paying attention to there. Shout out to Fire Chicken. They're starting to show some strength here, which is pretty nice. You can see here. There we go. They're climbing from the depths of the trenches, man. Look at that, from 20,000 to 38,000. Shout out to Fire Chicken. Look at them coming on up. That is what's that's Dr. Fire Chicken in our community here, just shouting it out. Look at you guys. You guys are above all the moving averages, and you guys are fighting, man. You guys are fighting. So that is dope here. Got a little bit of resistance potentially coming up here on this weekly chart. Let's go ahead and move that. So yeah, I would use this resistance area as a way to kind of do some.
You got Fire Chicken up there? Is that what's going on, Pedro?
I do. Listen, man, I'm looking at alts because I think this is about to be the start of the alt season here, and so I'm looking at a lot of these small plays. Like I was checking out Nova. Nova is starting to show some growth. Boom again, and that's sitting at 27,000, right? Potentially could get up to again its all-time high of 500,000. So potentially want to look at that.
When these alts start to, I mean, they've been dead for months. When they get a little interest, they can 2 to 5x, like boom.
Mm-hmm.
So just put 100 grand in that, Pedro.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Exactly.
All right, I gotta step
awesome.
off. I'll be right back.
All right, so this is another one here. Let's see. We haven't checked out Bay in a while. Let's see how they did. Ouch. Yeah, that hurt. You can see that definitely hurt them. It traded well for a while, almost exactly how I thought it. I mean, it literally went from, what was this, 116,000 to 1 million, I believe, right, at its height. And so we got in on it when it was around that 116,000. And I think it was our boy, what was his name? Alpha Wolf, AI Alpha Wolf. I always brought it up. And yeah, there was a 10x there when it comes to that. What was 47? I forget what was 47. Boom. Either way, it's looking nice there. And then, what was the other one? GSB was the other one that, I believe this was GameStop Bets, I believe is what it was called, which is what we're looking at. And it played nice off of our zones here, but it's kind of just died out. Sad. These small coins, right? And the reason why is that I'm pretty positive that institutions have a blanket algorithm that go through to cause kind of the markets to move on a lot of these small coins so they can make money on the liquidity off of it. Especially with MEVs kind of going and how those all work out. It's going to be real interesting. What's up, Thomas? You there now? You good?
I am in between restarts of Striking Junior's computers. I'm coming back here. Interestingly enough, the technical problem of the day is Windows update happened in the middle of the night, and now your keyboard doesn't work on a laptop.
Gotcha. Ooh, that's good to know. Yeah, I have a, so maybe I might have to call you this weekend for that because I got to use my laptop this weekend. So I'm like, hey, how do I do this?
It's always amazing how these things happen during our show. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, Pedro's been handling it for a little bit. I'm sure I'm going to be back on the technical support thing in just a second, but I want to shout out to everyone watching us on Rumble right now. We have 10 people watching us on Rumble. I appreciate it. Drop a like, comment, share, whatever. As I always say, just do it. Just do it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Please.
And then to that lone
please.
person watching us on Twitch, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. And of course, to all you YouTube viewers, as usual, thank you very much. Please share our stream with your friends. Copy that share link that you have right underneath our window.
Please do. Please do. That always helps us out so much. So much.
All right, what'd you pull up there, Pedro?
This is Melania, because I'm looking at the because of the dinner that we were talking about and the latest news and how half of Washington was screaming bloody murder, and I'm assuming the other half is going, yeah, go Bitcoin. So was wanting to know your thoughts on that. What happened on that dinner?
Well, the dinner itself, apparently from the news, they asked people to keep everything fairly private, and they did. Not a lot of news came out of it. I'm sure we'll see pictures come out of people posing with the president and that type of stuff. But the big thing that came out of it was the sell-off after it. I think you went over that with the Trump coin a few minutes ago.
Yeah, absolutely. That doesn't bode well. People are like, this is BS, and they sold it.
That's you don't have. What do you have up now?
Oh, this is Trump. So.
But it's not at $2. It's at $14 or something like that, right?
No, this is 2.65 billion.
Oh, that's the market cap. I see. Yeah.
Market cap. Yeah. And so.
Actually, then I'm not reading something right then because they said it had a 50% drop, and that's not a 50% drop in one night. That's a small drop. Interesting.
Well, it went from $50 or $15 to $13. So what is that? That's 10, 20. That's 3 points. Is that 15%?
Yeah, not
$3.
Not very much. Bitcoin Trump drops 50% as Trump drops. Analysts have been saying that the latest Bitcoin rally had less frothy momentum. Bitcoin hit an all-time high of 11,000. Blah blah. Wait, hold on. Floated the idea of straight 50%. Oh, I got that confused. Trump dropped 50%. He was talking. Trump drops 50% tariff bombshell. I only read half the headline. I'm on decrypt.com, so I'm reading crypto headlines, and it says Trump drops 50%. And then the next line below it says EU tariff bombshell. And that was in the news today, talking about, because the EU is not wanting to negotiate. They're like, no, we're the EU. We're going to do what we want. And Trump's like, okay, F you. I love it. I love every second of it. You know what I also love, Pedro, is that, remember, just a quick soliloquy here. I remember when I said I was going to close out that trade earlier because it was going against me. I successfully mitigated it, and and I didn't because we got busy, and then Striking Jr. called me, and now I'm up $33.
Okay.
I got a winning trade on my hands, and it's successfully mitigated, and I'm going to take half my profits right now. How about that?
So you made $33 off of 25?
No, my original was 25, and I mitigated it all the way up and added another 60 to the margin, so it was a total of 90.
Oh, okay. So out of 90, you made 30. So basically made 30%. Not a bad trade.
Yeah, in fact, I'm gonna close it all right now. Just mark it, close it. Be done with it. All right, Pedro, I gotta take one more quick break here, and then if it doesn't work, I'll Mr. Striking Jr. back after the show.
It's all good. Now I'm going to jump back here real quick to our buddy Trump's coin here. Shout out to Mr. Trump for handling business over in Washington. But let's check this out here. So, we had a nice little zone here. Let's see what zone I was looking at. And Is it the hour zone? Yeah, it looks like it's the hour. So let's check this out. Looks like a potential 1 hour. Let's see if it was based off the 2 hours as well. Nice 2 hour. 20. Let's see here real quick. 2300. So it was 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock. Nice, man. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, that's nice. 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 So nice little play here. Just had to recheck this zone here. And this thing was definitely played by institutions, dude. Like this thing, dude, if I could say an institutional played this zone right here is an institutional zone. And this right here explains why it bounced from here. And this isn't, so this becomes resistance because this was played as well in the same way. You can see boom, bounce, try to push up, and then they dropped it. And so this would become a resistance level. I'm sorry, guys. I mean to yawn in your ear. Forgive me for that. Boom, you can see here though. Nice little play here. Great play. Bouncing off the lows here. Let's see. It's probably going to come back down to this low here of that $11, $11.60 area. If it does continue. Oh no, there's nothing there. No, I'm glad I looked that up. Nothing. Only place we got is right there on that 4 hour zone. Yeah. All right, let me check the comments here real quick. See if you guys are saying anything. Boom. Nice. Good to have you guys over there. Thanks. We've seen the increase in the Rumble viewership. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate you over there, as well as our guys over on YouTube. You guys rock the mic. All right. So we see right here, you have a 4 hour zone, but that's right here. Really like this one over that one, in all honesty. I mean, it's just a clean zone, man. Boom. See how the structure of it is, comes down. Yeah. Boom. Nice structure throughout the whole entire time frame, man. Great structure. Boom, you can see it just came down. What I'm doing is I'm looking at the structure of the explosion out of the zone here, to see what is actually happening on an intrinsic level within that zone that was created, where the actual volume is on a micro level when it comes to this, because those little details can actually give you a strong. So that's why I always tell everybody, whatever time frames you use, understand that those time frames build off on each other, right? That's why you have them. So make sure you correlate that actual movement throughout all those time frames, and making sure that you actually have a detailed view of where those buyers or sellers are sitting, because ultimately that is then going to train your eye on how to spot a really good area. And if you can see within your time frames that you look at, like I know people who trade on like that, they take 10-minute trades, right? They're more scalpers, but they still have a similar process like anybody, where they have multiple zones out there that are going to are multiple time frames, not multiple zones, but multiple time frames that they look at that kind of solidify their narrative that they're building, or their case for which way a market can be. So whether you're saying, okay, I expect a pullback or a reversal down to this level, I would expect it structured to look like this if it's going to work out. And that's where I always tell, that's why I look at, and that's why I always preach, you know, I like trend. If you have trending mechanisms, make sure whatever those trending mechanisms are, is that they're trending on multiple time frames so that you have a congruency within that trade. And so you can sit there and say, okay, I've got a lot of time frames, I got a lot of trending mechanism, trending indicators that I use, or whatever ones you use, to say they're helping me out go in a direction that, or I am expecting a reversal. So it's either it's going into a direction that I expect, or a reversal that I expect, or a pullback that I expect, so I can go continue in the larger trade, right? Everybody who's ever taken OTA understands that you have the, you have the pullback and then you have the impulse move, right? The impulse move is the longer trade that's going to go. That's why I say if the market's moving up, don't short it, right? I may have a bearish view of that, think it's going to come down like this week, right? I was expecting it to come down. I didn't trust it, but the market was going long. So I'm going to get out when it's going long. And if I start to see weakness, or excuse me, I'm going to go long with it as it moves up. But if it starts to show weakness, I'm smart. I make sure I take profit and wait for where I think it might come down to. So yeah, that's it in a nutshell for that one. Okay, then let's see if anybody have any other questions here on the comments. I know, I'm sorry guys if I'm just blathering on here. No questions, man. Let's check out some stuff here. Okay, now let's go ahead and look at a couple other things. Some micro coins here, potentially we could be having fun with. Here we go. Come on. Oh, that's interesting. How did that work? All right. Oh, we have FIFA this weekend. There's gonna be a bunch of coins that correlate with this. There's no way. Let's see what's gonna happen here. Boom. Hey, launching with this trusted friend, Defi. All right, let's see what we got going on. Boom. Boom. Yeah, that was something that I thought was really interesting. I was looking at this. This was a few days ago. I talked about basically what Crow was doing, and Crow is doing some really dope stuff when it comes to banking and how that all works out, what they're setting up. So I'm very bullish on Crow. I'm kind of looking at some stuff here that seeing what I would be looking at. I'm also looking for a couple small plays here that potentially we could see what's going on. FIFA free for all Friday. If anyone needs to pass a B25, you can. Okay, that's not working. All right. Why is that doing that? Here we go. technology. Yeah, this isn't moving. All right, then. I was hoping that I was going to find something here, but that was not what I was expecting. All right, so let's check out. Here we go. Let's check out Pui's here. This is JD Vance's coin here. You can see here that it's starting to pick up a little, starting to follow that 8-period moving average. And you can see here that we've kind of got kind of an opportunity here at these low levels to actually capture it up. So it's looking like it's starting to catch some skin here, catch some gains here. And at that 4 million, 2 million area, it's starting to show some strength. And you can see here pulling back today, but potentially looking like it's getting ready to get going. So I like this squeeze here at 13 million. If this thing starts to get going again, its all-time high was 54 mil. I mean, it could get to 100 million if this blows through this. I mean, and there's really nothing standing in its way.
Yeah, Pedro,
as it
I'm
was
quite
coming
surprised
down.
It's only a $13 million market cap.
Yeah, absolutely. But the reality is there's really nothing there to kind of get in its way until we get to the very top, at least at 20 to 30 mil, and we're sitting at 13 million. So this is a nice little play to take a hold of. As I'm looking, it's kind of coming down here today, but I mean, even around that 10,000 to 3,000 area is a nice little area here. Apart from that, you really don't have any real resistance until we get up to these higher levels. So it's pretty nice. You totally scared me, by the way. I didn't even, I was like, oh snaps, you got me.
Sorry. Striking Jr. is rebooting its computer, so I took a moment to listen in. What's from the lows where you have those double green lines drawn to the high it was at yesterday or whatever? What difference is that in price?
That is between 2 million to about 15 million, so 7.5.
No, I mean from all the way down at the bottom where your double green lines are to the price right now.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh wow!
It's probably about,
so it's
about 2 mil.
It's 7x
it's about 7x.
in the past day.
No. This is May 5th. Remember the 5th.
Yeah.
The 5th of May. But yeah, man. That's what it is.
So since May 5th, Pui's has done a 7x.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And from the lows, and it was funny is when what was his name? Shogun. When Shogun was telling me about it, and I said, bro, it's gonna drop. And he's like, where do you think it's gonna go? I said, there's a few places it could come down to, but the furthest one I think you will probably see. Oh man, my eyes.
This is actually a common problem.
What's up?
Sorry, wrong. Mike's not
that low there. I told him, I said I expected to kind of come down to there, but honestly, this was back I think in April when we were talking about it dropping. I think back in March is when it was dropping. So yeah, then April would have been the area, and I would have had a few areas. I would have had this area right here, coming down to right here at this level, and then this level right here would have been these areas that I would have been looking as it was coming down from when Shogun was talking about it. But yeah, I like it now. I like what it's doing, and I think it very much could take on its own ecosystem. If he becomes president, like this thing is gone. Like it shot 13 million, it shoot up to 2 billion. You know, so I mean, 13 million is still a pretty good price, but that 2 million is a nice little area. I know our boy Shogun would have been game on to see that thing pop like it's hot. By the way, I need to reach out to him and see if he'd want to come on the show and just hang out with us. What was the lows here? Yeah, man, look at that. And how much? What does it go for? What's the pricing? So 1 cent here. So that area there would have been 2 cents. Yeah, man, that's a nice little pump. Nice little pump. Looking like it's hot. Actually came down to this area right here. Look at that. Look at that zone. That's a pretty little zone right there. Boom. Came down to it perfectly too. Looking hot. Alrighty, boom. Let's check this out here. Man, we got all those guys over at Rumble, man. Really appreciate you guys coming in and showing some support. Really do. Please, if you guys could log into Rumble so you can ask questions and kind of join the chat with us. We'd love to have you. I've got 10 eyes there, and hope you guys are blessed and doing well today, wherever you're at. And I pray that you guys have a blessed weekend. But also would love to talk to you guys. So come on in. You don't have to create an account over on Rumble to log in. You just, do a little profile, or you don't have to pay. Kind of like they're saying you can pay for like the upper version, but you can go through and just create a quick little profile, attach it to one of like a Facebook profile or something like that, and boom, you're in. You're on it like Donkey Kong. Like, let's go. And I'm over here being this goofy. But let's go ahead and look at this stuff here real quick. Okay. Am I live? I think I'm live. All right. So one thing that's interesting about Puis though is that it is coming down to that level here, and that's that 10 cent. Excuse me, not 10 cent, but it's that 1 cent, 135 to that 1 cent or that 10.56 area. So it's say the 11.49 area to that 10.27 area. So it's interesting to see that actually play here. That looks like a good deal right now. What was rate? I forget what rate was. No. Let's see here, and let's see what Russ's plays were per.
All right, Pedro, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Guess who's back? All right.
No, sorry. As usual,
Sorry.
And I've heard this from my dad too, is that if something important is going to happen, prepare for it ahead of time. And he's got, things that he had to be ready for at 1:30 today, 12:30 his time, and online for it. And he turned his computer on 1 minute before it. And of course, last night, a emergency Windows update automatically installed, and now his keyboard doesn't work on his laptop. So we punted for now by just grabbing a USB keyboard and plugging it in, and I'll help him out later.
Yep.
But when you look at the Windows
interview?
things, people are like, I hate Microsoft. Just like, I hate them. How can they push an update and cause the keyboard to not work? Apparently, it's a common problem.
I guess. This is true.
Anyway, I heard you talking to our
Sometimes,
Rumble friends out there. Thanks, everybody, for watching on Rumble. We really appreciate it, making our YouTube people look terrible. Come on, algorithm on YouTube. We need your help. This is a little ridiculous, YouTube. You used to promote us amongst the algorithm, and we'd have 40 or 50 people. We're doing the same show, but even more entertaining.
More entertaining, even more entertaining, and more. Are you not entertained? All right, so perp here. We talked about this a while back ago when it was down around these levels here back in November, and it shot all the way up to the high here, which was a substantial high, and went 100x. Kind of came back down and been playing. So you can see here the community still playing here. And what's interesting about perp is that their market cap is still roughly like 34 mil. So this push here, if it gets going, and if we go here to market cap, could get back all the way up to that 131 area, and if not pushed even harder. So it's one of those ones I'm definitely looking at, waiting for some stuff to really kind of populate here to see. Yep, perp. Do you want me to give you the contract?
Let me look in CoinGecko to see what we got with.
It's on DEX too as well.
What's its name? PURP?
Yeah.
Is it? Oh, is it Purple Pepe?
I believe the narrative
purple?
behind it. Yeah, it's purple. I think it's Purple Pepe. But they call
Trading
it perp
at
on Solana.
a bunch of zeros, 825.
I think so. Give me 1 second. Let me make sure. Yeah, that's this area. Yep. It's 40. 8248. Market cap should be here. Yep. 8248. At least that's what I have right now.
Purple Pepe.
And its market cap's about 34.
Big market cap.
Yeah. Well, a decent market cap. I mean, comparative to them. They've got a good little community. A lot of people do use them there. And there are a few big name people that are definitely promoting them. So real interesting to sit there and see what's going on with these guys. Perp is kind of cool little crew here. I like how they roll. They're very aggressive. Is better, good word, but not in a bad way. Just, you know, they're aggressive about what they believe as a community for this coin. And so I wish I could see the liquidity a little bit higher, but you know, it's less. What is it? It's 1%, which I think is about average, right? 1% of the market cap is typically what it is.
$34 million market cap. Respectable $500,000 traded. The past 24 hours, down 6% today. Purple Pepe.
Yeah. It's funny. It's been a slow week on news, so we've been watching just things kind of just slowing. Come on. What do you got for news, sir? Dr. Magoose.
Pedro, the bond yields came up yesterday. Global bond yields all over the world because the U.S. Congress passed Trump's tax bill. And the world reacted to that by saying, that's not a good plan. You know, there's Mr. Trump, or President Trump, can talk about all he wants, how it's going to be great for the country. And generally, the markets vote around the world with their money. And there's this, you know, when you get the smartest people in the world and the people with the most money telling you that you're wrong, that causes bad things to happen. And so the bond prices came down and yields went up yesterday. I don't know if they've reacted at all today, but that was the reaction to passing the bill in Congress. I don't know if it's being debated in the Senate yet, how close it is to passing. But there's some big things in that bill if it does pass. Not much.
Actually, it looks like kind of a good thing.
Well, it depends on your viewpoint.
We saw yields drop, and it looks like so it definitely, if we see bonds go up and yields go down, that means there is a increase for demand for them.
Well, yesterday the news was that yields around the world shot up.
Yes.
Not just with U.S. Treasury.
That's true. So it's different. Well, U.S. Treasury is so because remember when our currency goes up, the rest of our currency goes down, right?
Right.
Because we are the inverse, is where everybody trades to. That's why. And so if I'm Argentina and I have the peso, I need to go through and I need to sell my currency to pick up dollars to trade with the rest of the world, right?
Yes.
And so if that's going to happen, then what people want to do then is they want to make yield on that US dollar. And so they're going to buy our bonds. Hence, when bonds and yields are inverse, so that's also the counter lever. So bonds and yields do this. When we have bonds go up, yields go down. When yields go up, bonds go down. And so you see how that works?
Yep.
It's a demand situation. So this is the cool thing behind it. Okay. The rest of the world said, hey, Trump, you passed that law, which means that the rest of the world is realizing America is going to have extra money, which means they're going to buy, which means that America's economy is going to start picking up again.
Well, one of the things they're
And
talking about in the
because
news
he's
yesterday,
more
though, was how that was a vote. The rest of the world voted that we would be unable to pay our debt, or it would be more difficult to pay our debt.
Then why are they buying our bonds then?
Well, that's one of the problems, though. 2 days ago, is that our bond offering was a disaster, and they couldn't.
Yep.
They couldn't sell them all.
Well, regardless of it, our bonds are going up in price. I mean, somebody's buying our bonds. I don't disagree. If you're going to have to give higher interest rate, but we may not be able to pay our debt at the time. But if we can increase domestic product and keep our debt where it's at, which is what we're trying to do with Doge and everything else kicking in, and if this slows down, let's just say this stays at its own rate, and this increases, it is in effect a good that we actually are lowering our debt because our GDP is increasing. And honestly, it doesn't even really matter because I'm looking at the chart. You know me, I don't really look at news per se. I look at the chart to tell me what the news is going to come out to. That's why multiple times I say expect news to come out that may be bad because the market is stagnant. And they're going to have to sell it off to push it back up, or expect good news to come out. Make sense?
Sorry about that. Yeah, it does. It does, but what I'm trying to figure out is, did I get tricked yesterday by the media just reporting, everything is horrible because of Trump? Or was I telling people the right things?
Yeah.
Because as we know, most of the
No,
times you see
you were
the
kinda
headlines,
messing up, but it's all
if it's
good.
about Trump, it's the opposite of what's really going on. And I got to evaluate whether, I was correct in reporting. Wow, let's not use the word report here. Let's use the word parroting.
That
That was the actual market sentiment.
But what I'm saying though is that's why we look at the chart. Yeah, that's why we look at the charts. We look at the charts because the charts will let us know what is actually happening with the actual real dollars.
Right.
Right. And people, people vote with their money. I'm just saying that's why I love. It was fun. I was hanging out with a bunch of traders and we were talking about that. Like, it's so interesting to see that, like, the yields are going down, and we're watching the bonds going up, and then we're watching the European bonds go up, right? Or excuse me, we're watching the European yield go up. And it shouldn't do that. Like, that's the funny thing behind it, is that we shouldn't see that. We should see the opposite. So real interesting to sit there and see. We'll find out what happens here. I'm actually looking at this right now on the monthly. We bounced up pretty hard on this lower level here for the month. Got going to be really interesting to see. It did sell off though on the weekly. You can see here that 10-year yield sold off yesterday and kind of is coming down here now. So we broke that 8 period. And you can see here right now, guys, this is on the yield, on the government yield, right? That you can see we're putting in seller wicks as we're moving up, right? And typically, what does that mean? Right? That means that they're taking profit, they're pushing it up, bringing in the novices, and then they're going to be flipping it around to drop it, especially when it comes to a weekly supply area, right? Boom, and we have small demand wicks here, which means that there's not a lot of demand, right, for yields. Okay, which means people are buying our bonds, because if more people are buying, and I agree, I've heard that it was this week we had a low amount of buying of the bonds, but it's not what we're seeing though, at least when it comes to money, the real money playing its.
But let's link this to crypto really for a minute, Pedro.
You know, almost sleight of hand. Yeah.
Let's link it to crypto. What have we seen in crypto the past 2 weeks? Seen the market cap of Bitcoin
we've seen increase,
go up by a couple $100 billion,
yeah.
and much of that comes through on pairs with USDT, USDC. USDC, I was wrongly saying that it was $20 billion market cap. USDC is now up to a $60 billion market cap as they. As a bunch of companies, exchanges in Europe have switched to USDC pairs from USDT because of the MiCA. And so USDC's exploded. So that means with the market cap of crypto going up, that generally means that the stablecoin people have to mint more tokens, which means they've got cash that's sitting around doing nothing. So it's very possible that, once again, crypto is saving the U.S. government by buying its bonds.
You are right. You are right. And we've talked about that. That's actually a good point. An increase of volume within crypto means that the crypto agencies have to buy more bonds to secure a 1-for-1 ratio of their dollar. Or of their I was about to say parity. Their, what's that called? Is it called parity? U.S. parity? But then I'm thinking, no, it's not.
That's something else.
Why am I forget? I don't know why I can't remember. But right now, USDC market cap is actually it went down a couple bit. But they're sitting about $62 billion for their market cap. So USD, seeing USD, USDT, market cap. Let's see here, it has been going. I mean, look at them. It's printing money. They're literally printing money. It's just crazy. I want to compare this. Is this going to allow me to compare? Yes. USDC. Come on. USDC market cap. Wow, look at that, boom. That's so interesting, man, when you see the comparison of these guys. Wow, look at that. Look at the growth there, man. You see that?
Wow, what is that?
Wow, that is this is the comparison between USDC and USDT. USDT is the purple, USDC is this one right here. excuse me, USDT. And USDT skyrocketed. Look at US. 12,000% since 2024. Or excuse me, since 2020. It's just nuts, dude. Even 2018, dude. Now look at that. Let's play here. Imagine sitting there, guys, and saying to yourself, you know, this isn't going to be this sexy, but the reality is it should make some money because they're going to need an exchange of fees and how they interact within crypto. And all of a sudden you get in at 2016, 2017, and you literally have 60 million% growth.
Well, the problem is you can't. There's no way to profit on that. I mean, unless you. I mean, can you arbitrage that against something?
No. No, I'm just talking about the business owners.
I got you.
Like, they knew they were going to make money. Yeah, they knew they were going to make money. They knew they needed to be that. But the reality is and there is a way to trade a US parity, and this is the way you do it. I'll show you how to do it. But you've got to make sure that you have MEVs, and they've got to make sure that you're on the right side. And once you accrue enough money as you're trading this, you've got to sit there and stake it and figure out a way to play it back and forth. But long story short, what you do is USDC. I knew a guy who literally played this. I don't need to look market cap again. Let's check out USDC. No. USD. All right. Okay. No, I don't. Why is that doing that? I don't want to compare anymore. US. No, I'm not trying to compare this anymore. Oh, that's why. That's what I gotta do. Okay, I forgot. Yeah. Boom. All right, cool. So what you do and how you play this is this right here. Come on, Dad. For the life of me, it's driving me nuts. And I've got the circle of death. The circle of death. La, la, la. All right.
Okay, just remind your voice just reminded me of
Are we
a
done?
song. Oh God, it's gonna be an earworm for me now.
All right, so check this out here real quick. All right, so you see all these fluctuations here?
Yeah.
Now we're talking. This is 1 cent moves in the market. You can see here that this is USDC. And so what you do is you find a market where every time, because you know that there has to be an equivalent of a 1-to-1 ratio with USDC and USDT, right? So you want to make sure that you know it's going to go back to this equilibrium. So as it sells off or goes up each day, you capture the small micro movements. So I'm going to go into, let's say, the 1 hour. Okay, we're going to sit there and we can see here the last few hours today. See how it dropped?
Yeah.
It's got to go back to this area right here at $1. And you can see how every hour there are small fluctuations, right? And so what you do, and I know people who do this, they play off of this where it's like every time it reaches, 0.99997, which is a fraction of a trade. And you got to make sure that that trade that you take, whatever organization you're with, they give you favorable, because you're going to take a lot of trades, right? And So every time it gets below this low right here, and there's multiple like USDT, USDC, USDD. You have US, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of stable coins out there that you can trade this with that are parity, that are at parity with, that is what it's called. It's in the, I don't know why it's, my brain went there was like, wait, that doesn't make sense. But you have the European stable coins. You have other country stable coins have got to be at parity with the actual coin. So you can have multiple trading systems where you use and trade this. Now, obviously you want to make sure that the stablecoin that you have has plenty of liquidity so that you can make money on it and not get stopped out, because that means you've got to have a large base to be able to buy in for whatever it is you're trading with. But either way, that's actually how you can trade and make money on USDT and USDC. Also, you can stake as well, like I said, so based on what you'd like to do. But yeah, this is money to be made. Now, this is a similar situation that you do within traditional finance that you can actually do itself, which is a type of trade. But this is very much so. This is what happens, is that people come in and they offer liquidity on this and they make money on this, right? They short this, it goes down, they go long, it goes up, and puts it back at the
seems like you got to use a tremendous
out.
amount of money though, like.
And yes, you do. Yeah, absolutely.
Like to make anything, you say, well, I got to put $100 million in that. Oh, look, we cleared 20 bucks.
Still make money. Well, no, you could probably make about 20% a year doing this.
No, I mean on each trade.
And as stable coins keep increasing,
if it's only varying by a few cents, I think a large delay has developed between us, Pedro, and it's bonking our conversation.
Yeah, but you're okay with that. Oh, that sucks. Wait. All right, so I just held up a 1. Tell me when you see it. 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, shoot. So we have 5 seconds. There's 5 seconds that we have a delay on. Yep.
Clap. 1,
okay, there's a 5-second delay.
3, 4. Yeah, I got 4.5. That's lovely. That's lovely.
Yep. Yay!
Here, let me try something here.
How do we solve this?
Hold on. Go back. All right, how about now? Oh.
All right, count. Give me designator.
So, all right, I'm gonna clap here.
2, 3,
clap.
4, 5.
1, 2, 3. Oh, it's 3 seconds now.
Yeah, guys, this is what we do on pre-show. We typically do this, and today we don't have those issues. So, I guess we didn't have it pre-market, but we had it in the middle of the show. While he is taking care of that, I want to talk about my awesome, like, chocolate, amazing tea I had today. It was so good, dude. Oh my goodness. I forgot I started messing with rosemary and thyme again because I'm made up my pizza yesterday, man. I made a homemade pizza and cooked it up, and my friend was sitting there going like, dang, dude, like, this is really good. Most people don't realize this, but you can go get like something like a take and bake or whatever. It's already pre-made. Like you buy for like, you know, $5, $7, $10. And then what you do is you chop up rosemary, thyme, and oregano. Put it on your pizza, okay? Don't put any type of seasoning besides that. You want fresh seasons if you're going to do it. So if you do powders, it actually fries and crisps the actual pizza. And so you just put it on there. Don't put your olive oil just yet. I coat the bottom of the pan that I'm going to cook it on, right? The pizza pan with olive oil, set it in, turn it up to about 350, 400 degrees, and wait for it to crisp, right? Boom, turn it, and then do it again, let it hit, boom, turn it again. You do about, like, who don't have a lot of them. This is for people who have, let's say, you know, you make $50 million, okay? And what you do is you take money, you know, you take $10 million, and you know, you want to be able, it's pretty secure. I may have to say it, but you know, like USDT, USDC is pretty secure. So one of the things you can do now is, you know, play these little fluctuations, right? And if every day you can make money, and it's not a lot, you know, off of 10 million, you're making 50,000, you know, but it's still 50,000, 60,000 a day that you could potentially be making, you know, off of that 10 million. And so you buy in, and debate off where you'd want to play. So let's say you want it basically at 1 cent. You want to capture 1 cent to the dollar. That's 1% move that you can make off of 10 million. You know?
Meh.
Excuse me, 1%. I don't know why I said 10%.
Yeah, well, yeah, I knew what you meant, but it's
so,
like, you know, power of large numbers there. You just keep stacking it up.
Yeah, and the thing is, you're basically making dollars. That's the part that's crazy, is you're making dollars, because this is literally, well, it's not a dollar literally, but it's backed equivalently to bonds. So, or you could play something like this, right? Like here's, you know, this is 2-day period where you could play right here, where this is 8 cents, right? Boom. Here's another one at 9.7, and there are people who do this, right? This one right here. This one was literally 5 cents. Somebody made 5% on this move here in a day. So you could literally say, I'm going to short a market. Right? How many times has it gone? It's done. Let's see how many times it's done 5% moves in a day. Right? Boom. One. That one was 4%. This one's again 4% or 3%. Boom. This one was 3% here. What is that? 2%. They're not bad, you know what I'm saying? This one here was 2%. Let's go 4 hours. See what happens here for 4 hours. Boom. Oh, look at this one. This one's nice. And this was back in March. This one, 10% right here. This one here was 20%. You know, back in March here of 2023. Not bad, man. Oh yeah, this is when everybody was saying they didn't have the amount behind it, and then that one was it. It was Lutnick's, right? Lutnick's group came out and said, "No, man, we back these guys.
Yeah,
we actually
Cantor
do their
Fitzgerald
books."
came out. Cantor Fitzgerald's the custodian
Mm-hmm.
for the barking dogs. Cantor Fitzgerald is the custodian for the
Two
for
barking
Tether's US
dogs.
Treasuries.
What up, Bluetooth? Mm-hmm. And so there was all that.
I think the great
that
internet gods are
rigmarole
telling
that
us
they found
that it's time today to pack it in.
All right. Well, guys, thanks for coming in. Appreciate you. And we'll be back on Monday.
Yep.
That's said with a question mark.
Nope. That's
Perfect.
No
we'll be
question
back on
mark.
Monday.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Hold on.
A slow Friday show, but still got a lot of information across. Talked about Bitcoin. In fact, I even on the air even took some profits on a trade in Bitcoin. So did some good strategy there. I was losing it, and I was using very little margin, using the correct amount, I should say, of margin for my trade. But I left a little available for mitigation if it goes against you, and I did that, and I ended up winning the trade. So a successful Friday, and I'm gonna take my winnings and buy 2 beers. That's about what it'll do in Canada here. But Pedro and I have got a long, awkward delay between our things, so I'm just going to end the show here and say, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this week. We had a good week. We streamed 8 hours this week, which is good, helping us with our Rumble Creator project, getting back on that after too much time off. We'll be here Monday, as Pedro says. Once again, the man in the box next to me is Pedro Garcia, the crypto chart analyst. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking, here in the digital media world. So glad to have hosted another episode of this great show. We'll see you tomorrow. Monday!
Yeah. Monday.